Boston Trail 5K this morning, finished first overall on 18:10-ish. I didn't really look at the results yet, but my watch said 18:12, so somewhere in that range. I was on the Gap Trail down in Boston, PA. So flat rail trail for an out and back. Nothing too exciting happened today. Drive down was kind of boring. Rained a little bit off and on. Forecast had rain in it, so I wasn't sure what to expect for the race, but it was still at least 55, 60 temperature wise. So I got to wear shorts today. Well, just compression shorts. Went shirtless, so that's nice to be able to get into that zone area again. Parking today sucked because there's some construction going on for a new sewage plant right at the Gap Trail, which I don't know why they would make a sewage plant there, because there's a couple ball fields and playgrounds. Just dumb in my opinion, but parking was kind of shitty, so you had to walk a little bit to get to the bib pickup and stuff, but you were allowed to drop a bag off, so I took advantage of that. There was a half marathon as well. It started at 9, the 5K was 9:15. I got there and I got to watch the half marathon take off, so that was nice. That was sort of my plan. I was saving my legs today for a cyclothon that I'm doing later tonight, and just in general for next week, so that's why I did the 5K and not the half. I think I would have did well in the half. I've dropped some pretty good times on that section of trail. I think like 118, 119s were my times, and I think winter today was like 122 something, but it happens. I still won the 5K, I'm happy with that. So we line up at like the caboose thing that is by the trail down in Boston, PA. Normally we start on the other side of the bridge, but this race starts by the caboose like / gift shop area. Sort of anticlimactic to start. I need to put some glasses on here, it's getting bright. But either way, whatever. Right away, a couple people took off. This one woman who was at the front of the start of the race, she took off at like a 5-minute, 5:10 pace right away. I'm just like, oh, what the hell is this? You know, I wasn't sure if she was really fast or just took off fast and was going to drop back. So I hung with her a little bit right away. That's how I knew she was doing that like 5:10 pace out the gate. Which kind of worried me for a few seconds. But I was just like, even if she is fast, we'll just hang behind her. You know, draft off of her and use her energy, you know, to save some of mine. But quickly realized that it wasn't maintainable, so I just did my thing and then passed her and took over first. Not even probably a quarter mile in. Yeah, it was from there I pretty much led the rest of the race. Maybe like the first 4/10 or a half mile of the race. When I was listening to music, I couldn't tell if it was my feet that I was hearing hit the rail trail or if there's somebody on my ass, because I didn't want to look back. But then a song ended and I had that little second or two break before the next one kicked on. I realized it was my feet that I was hearing, so mentally I got to relax a little bit more after that and just was cruising. I think first mile was like 5:35 minute pace and like 5:50 or something like that. I'd have to look and see what the third one was, but I know my first 2 minutes were under 6 minutes, so they were in the 5 range. So that put me in good shape. Wasn't really going for time today. It was more for finish and placement. I was only going to run as fast as I needed to. If I could win the race, I was going to play the field and see how it went. You don't know if like a bunch of high school kids are going to come this time of year because of track, but none of them really showed up today. Was a few people on the trail as I was heading out. Went around them. There's some spectators as well. I think I had, let me see, it was 8:55 on my watch at the turn, and I passed second at 9:10, so that's like 30-second gap at the turn. So yeah, with that, I knew I could pull back some, which I did, because I didn't want to like run that red line if I didn't have to. So I did look back a few times on the way back, make sure he wasn't creeping up from me pulling back. He probably, well, he obviously did, because the time gap shrunk a little bit. I think he stayed within 30 seconds. But on the way back, there was a few people that got in my way. It was kind of aggravating. They were actually on the right-hand side of the trail. Most people were on the left-hand side of me, you know, even like 2 or 3 wide. And then there was a couple people. There was an old guy and a kid on the very right-hand shoulder, and like they didn't want to move over. I'm like, well, what the fuck? I was like, all right. So I had to weave in and out of a few people on the way back. Nothing major, no, slowed me down. Was feeling it a little bit on the way back. I just chalked it up to tired legs and going out too fast. Everybody else was asking about the humidity, because they thought it was just humid and it got them. I said I thought it was my legs, but it's one of those things, if you know, the humidity gets you like breathing it in and just hitting your body, it's going to affect your legs. So I'm not sure if it was my legs or humidity, but we'll just say humidity for argument's sake. Because I know after the race, after I stopped, I wasn't really sweaty during the race, but as soon as I stopped, man, I was just dripping everywhere, head to toe. My compression shorts, felt like I splashed water or peed myself. That's how much like compression shorts just like got saturated as soon as I stopped. Other than that, it was pretty straightforward. I didn't really have to push too hard. Definitely could have dropped into the 17s if I needed to, but I would have used a lot more energy. Yeah, nothing really to speak of competition wise, or any like jostling or anything like that. Stuck around to the awards, which was they started them at like 10, which was my real complaint of the race. They started awards 45 minutes after the race started, which doesn't give a lot of time for like walkers and like the back of the pack to come in. And I always like to see them all finish first before you start awards at a race. But I also understand why they started the awards a little bit earlier than I would have liked to have seen, is because with the half marathon, you didn't want the top half marathoners coming in and then doing awards at the same time. But and that's only because where they had the awards set up was right along the trail. So as like the half people were coming in, you know, you didn't want that backup or whatever right there at that finish line, which, you know, all they would have had to do was move awards off the trail and into the parking lot a little bit more to alleviate that, which I think they should do in future races, so then you could start the awards a little bit later. But then again, I guess some people might want to watch the half finish, like top runners come in. So it's one of those things. What do you do? I would say wait a little bit more and let like the people who might be walking or whatever, you know, finish before you start awards, because I always find that to be a little rude, but it is what it is. So I stayed for the awards. Was watching all the 5K people finish, and then I watched a couple of the top half marathoners come in. I think I watched like top 10. I know I got like, yeah, the top 5 or 6 males before the first female came in. I saw first 3 females come in. There's a couple guys mixed in between, a couple pacers, because they had the pacer people there today. I think, yeah, I saw 140 and 145 come in with their little placards. I think that's about when I left. It thinned out really good, you know, after the awards. Like, none of the 5K people wanted to really stick around. It's one of those races that I guess people didn't want to support each other. And then again, I left after like the 10th place because I was like, well, there's, you know, nobody sticking around, and then I had things to do today, so I actually had to leave before I would have liked to anyhow. Other than that, that's about it. Oh, here's my medal. It's also weird because it says male overall top first place, but they gave second and third overall like the same wording, so it was kind of weird, but whatever. I won. It's a nice day out. 63 right now. It's supposed to rain the rest of the day, so at least I got to run in. Not going to save my legs, recoup a little bit for the cyclothon. At like 4 o'clock, I'm going to bike for an hour. I'm on a team, so whatever. See you guys soon and have fun.